Oyinokachikun Charles Osamor had a plan to get rich quick. While some of his fellow Nigerians were stealing identities to drain personal bank accounts, Osamor realized they're small fry compared to corporations. Why steal $50,000 at a time when he could pocket $500,000 using the same stolen names?
It is robbing a bank, and you're wearing a mask, and your mask is somebody else's identity.
Oyinokachikun Charles Osamor looked like the classic immigrant chasing the American dream. After coming from Nigeria to Houston as a 17-year-old student, he earned a bachelor's degree in 1987 from Texas Southern. Osamor then opened a succession of businesses, a frozen yogurt shop, a physical therapy clinic, and at one point, a clothing boutique in this trendy mall. But getting rich in America was apparently taking too long, so Osamor took a shortcut. Step 1. The fraud begins with stolen corporate checks that make their way to Osamor.
I've interviewed or spoke with companies who create 2,000 checks a day. And several of those checks are six-figure, million-dollar checks.
This check was written by the El Paso Corporation. El Paso is one of the country's largest suppliers of natural gas. Paid to the order of BJ Services, $132,000. BJ Services never got the check. The feds don't know how the check was stolen. There are lots of possibilities.
Many times, those checks are then sent to an envelope stuffing company, and then perhaps a private courier takes them to the post office. So there's a variety of points of compromise when those can and have been stolen.
But what good is a stolen check if you don't have a way to cash it? Step 2. Create a phony address. This commercial mail drop is one of several that Osamor used. The application says the mailbox is for Scott Weinbrandt, who supposedly works at BJ Services and lives in Houston.
I've been to Houston once in my life.
The real Scott Weinbrandt is a businessman whose personal information had been stolen.
It's like being violated when somebody does something this to you.
Weinbrandt's identity was used to effectively move BJ Services from this $4 million building with nearly 2 acres of floor space to this 5-inch postal box that rents for $10 a month.
It was putting me in the hot seat for something I had no association with.
The phony address for BJ Services made the next step possible. Step 3. Open a brokerage account by mail or internet. This is one of Osamor's applications for an account in the name of BJ Services. That would be the BJ Services at the 5-inch postal box. The account's authorized person, complete with his real Social Security number, is Scott Weinbrandt.
This is definitely, again, not me filling this out, nor is it my signature.
The application says Weinbrandt is not only the president of BJ Services, he's also the owner.
I had never heard of BJ Services Company.
Never mind trivial details, the application was notarized.
In theory, you're supposedly having an independent party verify your signature, but he had his own notary stamp that he used to notarize all his documents.
We got a seal ourselves. I want to show you the seal. Kind of funny. Ours is in the name ID Thief. Getting a notary public stamp in Texas is easy because you don't have to be a notary public. You just write down how you want it to read, pay the $25, and voila. A notary public is born.
Frankly, I don't think we have a problem in Texas.
Texas Secretary of State Roger Williams oversees the state's notary system. He recommends that anyone who depends on a Texas notary check with the state to make sure the stamp is valid.
To make sure that we're not dealing with something that's fraudulent like this.
But shouldn't there be a law, a rule, or something that says, you know what, you can't make fake stamps for a notary public?
I think it's important that we understand that we also don't put the burden on small business. Texas is a very pro-business state.
With Texas notary stamps there for the asking, step 4. Deposit the stolen check and cash out. It's a race to move the money out of the country.
The minute a check clears, I've seen them wired out that day.
Meanwhile, the real BJ Services was waiting to be paid.
And whoever was going to get that check 90 days out would probably be billing or knocking on the door of El Paso Energy saying, hey, when are you going to pay me this bill?
That seems to be when we would find most of them.
And by that time, the money's already offshore.
It came and went.
All it took was stolen corporate checks, commercial mail drops for a phony address, and a brokerage account to launder the funds.
Yeah, it's amazing that this can happen.
What eventually gave Osamor away was being linked to the phony addresses. He was caught on tape. His fingerprints were on incriminating documents.
He probably thought, they'll never figure it out.
Yeah, he proclaimed his innocence all the way through trial.
Even so, a jury convicted Osamor of conspiracy, fraud, and possession of stolen mail. He was sentenced to 13 years. The prosecution linked him to $5.6 million worth of checks stolen from 7 corporations.
Did you find out who was getting him the checks?
No.
Boyden had stopped a crime without solving the mystery.